They're doing amazing things. Those who want quick fix, they're not, right? Everything is a growing thing. You grow into love, you grow into life, you grow into wealth, you grow into everything, right? So check us out on rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, all right? Or call 800-411-BOND. I read or heard that some Republicans are starting to pull their advertisements from Google or whomever, right? Because so many conservatives are being shut down, discriminated against, shadow banned, and all that kind of stuff. So conservatives are starting to fight back. It is happening to us too. I'm just taking it one day at a time. But you can go to jlptalk.com and find all the ways to support us. You can check out rebuildingtheman.com and support our nonprofit organization. You can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and study. And also, we have thefatherstate.tv. Ring the bell. We have been rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man for the last 27 years. And we tutor, counsel. We have a home for young men. We have a credit union that we started so that we can loan the money to the guys and they pay back with interest, because a lot of these guys that come from, as you know, broken families, and they have no credit. And some of them, their mothers use their credit and abuse. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, folks? Appreciate you tuning in on this fine Tuesday. Welcome. Appreciate that. On this fine Tuesday, it's an absolute pleasure to be back. And I see you all in the chat. I see power and youth in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're getting going here on the American Anchor Baby show. This is your host, the American Anchor Baby, and I am glad to be back. We got a nice little show for you, okay? You know, people are showing their slow side and getting slower. Some of them supposedly high IQ individuals. We'll see. We'll see. But we'll talk about it. I got a couple things to get into. Appreciate that, folks. And I want to say thank you to rumble.com/American Anchor Baby and dlive.tv/Gorgonzola, where I am streaming. We will not forget all of you. So appreciate you tuning in. You got to call in if you want to call in, 888-775-3773. You want to talk to the Anchor Baby and get on hold as we get rolling here. Got a couple things to get into. What's up, folks? What's up, Lord Spike Protein? How you doing, Lucas? You know, I see a defensive brigade in the chat. Amazing. It's the N-word towers versus the Nick-er towers, and the Nick brigade is defending the towers. They're jumping in. they see a I and they throw it in the C. Sometimes the G gets in there, but they stand strong, keeping the knicker towers going. Well, we're having fun in the chat. You got to be there. If you enjoy chatting and want to tickle the algorithm, help out the anchor baby, comment away, like the stream, comment if you don't like something, or if you do. So very nice. It's nice to see you. See the brigade in the chat. Funny stuff. We like having fun. I'm scared of Court now. What's this talk about? I believe Court Green, one of my mods. Chris saying, stop the N-word towers or Court will ban you. Whoa, is everybody getting banned? What's going on? Are N-word towers like not okay? Like they're okay. Well, not N-word towers, like if they're being if they're spamming. So clean what you got to clean up. But these are your 2 prime directives, mods. Remember these 2 prime directives and allow them to temper each other. Remember your prime directive, okay? Number 1, you clean up spam, crazy, violent threats, and things that and repeated and just like flippant and repeated breaking of terms of service. Okay, you deal with that. And your second prime directive is to encourage a lively chat. And here's what you do. Here's how you encourage a lively chat. You do nothing. You let it happen. So let prime directive number 2 temper law number 1, okay? Like the AI. You got to be like the AI. Like Hal. With your written laws. You have written laws with that wrench. And if you want to drop the wrench, the responsibilities, don't worry. Let it go. It's okay. That might be prime directive number 3, Carver. What it is it's fun is okay. Fun is allowed. But calm down, okay? Let's not spam. Let people talk, right? Don't with the spamming. So don't be surprised if you're spamming towers and you get dealt with. But you understand, right, mods? These are your prime directives. It's not mod drama, just a little reminder. But talking about here, let me get into something. Blame a little bit. You know, I mentioned, if you remember, I had a caller yesterday. We were talking a little bit about that woman who was stalked by this insane black woman with a knife that killed the 3-year-old white child. Okay, you know about that story. And we're talking a little bit about blaming victims and where is that lie? How could you blame that woman? How can you really blame someone like that when they were just attacked by some random psychopath? There's no blame that lies there. And you heard my take a little bit on the fault that you have in all things. So we'll remember that as we continue here. But there's some cop stuff we're going to talk about. Backing the blue. Is this dead, or are we back in the blue, fellas and ladies? Huh? MAGA black backs the blue. Are we back in the blue all the way, unyieldingly, with no criticism? Huh? It feels like that's changed. And maybe for good reason. I don't know. You could call the anchor baby, 888-775-3773. Maybe tell him where he's wrong. But I can't help but notice a couple of things here, particularly in some clips. Let's get into some clips. And then one kind of bigger news story. But it's not a big news story. It's another black person that died by the hands of cops. And it's not something we should give any emotional thing to, because that's not helping anybody, okay? So we'll get to all that. I can't help but notice as we go through some of these stories, I'm noticing certain reactions here. The reactionaries, the conservatives. I can't help but see them showing their slow side, they're retardando, and I'm not saying the R word. We're talking about being slow, being very slow. And it's a musical term. And okay, look, hey, what's up, Numb Digger in the chat? Shout out to that conversation yesterday. No, you're not allowed to call yourself that name. You know who we're talking. You know who I'm talking to. All right, let's get into this first video. And here's a little thing about nervous female cops. You may have heard a little bit about this. In fact, Sam Hyde famously, if you know anything about Sam Hyde, famously said about female cops, if you ever get one pulling you over for any reason, you better be the most kind, put your hands up, like be the most unthreatening person. You do not want her nervous even a little bit because you're already a guy. You're big, like for whatever reason, you do not want this female cop nervous because you're just one step away, right? Taser, taser. It can happen to anyone. I wonder. Sorry, folks. I didn't think I was going to use this, so I didn't set it up, but.
Taser, 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 blam. Oops. Oh, no.
I have a little drop of James saying, taser, taser, blam. Oh, he's talking about that white lady who accidentally shot this person, and I forget the details, but she meant to take out her taser. So that's the commentary on nervous female cops. Here's people are feeling similar ways about these following videos. Okay, check this lady people are saying is maybe on her first day on the job or something like that. They're not being very kind to this work, but maybe for good reason. Watch.
Get on your knees right now. Get on your knees right now.
As you can see, she's what looks like a taser in her hands. I think it's yellow. And she's got a car that's rolling up on her. You think, is someone trying to run her over?
Damn.
What the fuck? Oh, sorry about that. There I go again.
Girl, I thought you had a partner.
Get on your knees. I want your knees. Stay on your knees.
Damn.
You need to get up and get on your knees.
Damn, I wish you would have hit my car.
And now she's gone, Grandma. I don't know what she's up to. Filming the situation. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, mate. And she looks a little out of her depth. Well, she was just a little stressed, okay? She didn't think about putting it in park. But it has someone to handle the situation, right? One on their knees, like she asked. The other not complying. But, well, sort of complying. I don't know if you could call that complying. Laying catatonic on their back. People are saying, well, this is female cops. What a mess. Damn! Our finest. If you comply, you will not die, says court. And I got to say, I agree. But people are a little nervous. And so are the cops. They say, would you say that lady was maybe a little nervous? Huh? The adrenaline dump hit her. Could have happened to anyone, huh? Well, let's go to Officer Sarah for this one, okay? Officer Sarah, they're saying she was nervous. And that this woman has no business being an officer, okay? These people on Twitter are saying it. Said she has no business being an officer. This person retweeting it saying the guy was respectful. Clearly said he legally had a gun in the vehicle. Her first instinct at being told what they are supposed to do is draw a gun on him. Our guy is lucky she didn't magged up on him. This guy could have died. I'll let you decide.
Any weapons in the vehicle?
Yeah.
What kind of weapons?
It's a registered firearm in my name.
Okay.
Yeah, Smith & Wesson. This is also, a lot of business under my name too, so.
Okay. Just go ahead and keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Now, after learning about Ornelas' gun, Officer Sarah became nervous and told her colleague that she didn't feel comfortable standing alone during the search.
What I need to do, can you undo your seatbelt for me? Can I call the supervisor, please? What? I would like your supervisor.
No, you can talk to him afterwards.
Sir, I would like your supervisor.
Okay, we're going to talk to him afterwards.
Can you call him on your radio?
Huh?
Can you call him on your radio? He's not trying to call his supervisor on the radio. I'm a citizen too, bro. Okay. It's like, and you work for public and safety. You're doing your job. What's your cause of stopping me? Is what I want to know. You didn't even give me a cause. You said for your 10. I told you I got
that's
a ticket.
Cause to pull you over, right?
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa. That's way. Whoa.
Gun drawn.
Your fingers on the back of your head.
We've got code 3 cover coming.
Whoa.
Okay. Undo your seatbelt with your right hand.
That was like I think real ish your pants moment. You could kind of hear it in his voice, see it in his eyes. That's a heart sink moment. You know what I'm talking about? You see it when she draws her gun and asks him to interlace your hands, citizen, interlace your hands right now. Above your head, citizen. And it's a real ish, like ish and bricks. Whoa. You got kind of hear it in his voice. I have it muted, but they're saying she has no business being a cop. And you even see it in the comments going off on her. Cop lovers commenting. Context on a video of 9-year-old autistic girl being stopped to death by 5 police officers. And this is supposed to be the cop lovers in the chat, cop lovers in the comments of this video who are asking for context. Making this equivalency with this meme, this dark blue 666 on Twitter. You don't understand the danger they are in, this Doc Strangelove says. They say she got a promotion, apparently. I don't know, but they're very critical, okay? Where else was it? I think in the comments of this one, very critical. He's Kevin D. I don't know what these are, where they stand, if they're normally pro or anti-cop, if it weren't for these times of conflict. You could see her partner is like, whoa, what are you doing? And it could be true. That could all be true. But no, do you see a pattern here? No shred, not a single shred of self-policing of what could I have done better? Doesn't that sound like a familiar story? You know, if I was a cop and I was dealing with this guy, I would have gotten my attention. Would have peaked when he said Smith & Wesson. What are you talking about, me? Yeah, I got a registered gun. I'm a legal gun owner. I'm totally up and up. I got the legal stuff here. I got a Smith & Wesson, bud. I'll be like, why are you talking like that, man? Suddenly, my spidey senses are going off. What do you mean Smith & Wesson, sir? Oh, wait, that's real. Never mind. Smith Wesson? Wait, Smith Wesson. No, Smith Wesson is a park. No, it's Smith & Wesson, okay? I just almost psyched myself out here. So that would have piqued my interest maybe a little bit. And you know, what changed? She asked her, she doesn't feel comfortable for whatever reason. Nervous cop, that could be dangerous. Nervous female cop, I mean, we've seen it. Taser. But she seems to have done it by the book, called somebody else. I've seen countless videos. I don't know if you watch film like the way some of us here do. We watch film, okay? And what changed? What changed for this guy when she came back, when this guy came up? He's like, I want a supervisor. Why suddenly, what changed? You're like, I'm legal. No, it's no problem. Yeah, you could, whatever you need. You're all compliant. Hey, I got a gun in the car. I'm legal. What's the problem? Let's talk about it. This guy shows up and he's like, I want your supervisor. And he's filming. Where is the commentary on him and what he could have done? But he's like, I don't know. I just don't know what type of people are commenting here. Maybe they're the type who already have an animus, so to speak, and so they have a biased look at these kinds of videos. You know. And this is from like the CBS article, Tense Traffic Stop, if you want to check it out. In where is it? Lord. You can't block anything anymore. They're saying it was by the book. She did the whole thing by the book. Nobody got hurt, right? Don't you think he was unnecessarily escalating? But whatever. Maybe people who already have an animus like that, they already see these videos like this. We're throwing pearls to the swine, right? They're always going to say, oh, well, it's the cops. It's some other thing. They'll blame something else. But here we got another video. This is Cranston. Providence. This is Maine. What the heck is Cranston? Cranston. Yep. Okay, hold on. These local news reports don't like telling us foreigners, outsiders, where they are. But this video is going around right now. Cranston police released body cam footage of officers shooting at car during encounter. They're saying, hey, these cops, they're gun trigger happy. This is what you get with cops. They're always here. They're here to hurt and escalate and lie. You see it in the comments, right? Boom. If you ever catch the eye of a female cop, see a female cop is involved in this one. And you got, they post the Sam Hyde video, which is funny. I told you about his commentary on that. And they're all like, where is this officer being held? These are uniformed gang members with no accountability, says the other. And I'm looking at these comments and I'm saying, wait, these profiles, see, some of you may not know, but the vibe of these profiles, the fact that they're posting about Sam Hyde, it seems like this crowd is a little different. This crowd I think I can confidently say it's not the Black Lives Matter crowd. Okay, at least somewhat right-wing, huh? Can we at least say that? Online, internet, Twitter, right-wing. And they kind of sound like, don't they kind of sound like an old story you may have heard involving these kinds of situations? So, okay, let's watch the video because they're saying this officer had absolutely no reason to shoot at that car. Her life was not endangered in any way, shape, or form. Shots fired. How about officer fired? Let's watch this shoot. Is it a good shoot? Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait, we're going to want that unmuted. We definitely want the noise on that. All right, folks, we got the video.
Car. Get out of the car.
What are you doing? What is
just
this about?
Get out of the car.
What is this doing?
Get out of the car.
Ma'am. Ma'am, get away from my car.
My car. Oh. Ski. Get away from my car.
207, shots fired.
Get away from my car. What kind of accent is that? Is that a foreigner? Those look like, what's going on here? They're like, hey, officer, but what the heck is going on? What the heck is even going on, officer? Get away from my car. I don't even know what's going on. Drive away. I mean, what do you all think? Boston? Get away from my car. And here's the thing. You saw in the comments. Do you guys agree? No reason at all to shoot. I got to say, where are my film watchers at? You know, footage, film. You know, that's something they say about football. Don't they say that about football, right? Don't they say that about football? They say there's some people who really watch film. You watch a lot of film, you just get a sense of certain things. And I'm not a cop, but I feel like we've all become, at least us film watchers, have become a little bit of experts on the field. Not really, but, you know. At least more experts than maybe the generations before us. And any thoughts on cops? I'm just saying that a person who's confused about the police isn't always confused about oh my gosh, what the heck? I had to run. I had to drive away. I was so scared. It's just not always the case. And if you go into the story, they were suspected of shoplifting and Can't tell you much more than that. Police claim that this officer, Kaylee, approached the vehicle after shoplifting reports. And he sees like, oh my God, and then drives away. What people don't know is a vehicle can be a deadly weapon. Did she go too far? Was she nervous? All these things, quite possibly. Was there absolutely no reason? Wait, hold on. Are we losing the plot here, folks? I expect this out of the Black Lives Matter people. They're like brainwashed and angry. They can't see beyond that white cop shoot black guy, bad racism. What's going on? What's going on? This looks a little funny. It looks emotional. It looks like it's a spiritual battle. Because this is come on, can we agree? There's at least something. There's not no reason at all. It's not just a nervous female cop. It looks like a couple of shoplifters possibly, at least suspected. And then driving off when a cop asked him to stop, like, hey, take the keys out of the vehicle, da-da-da. You feel me, folks? Come on. Hello? 888-775-3773. Can't lose the plot here, okay? I think this is proof emotions. Anybody emotional will kind of see things wrong, take sides, and all that, right? Because everybody can see a female cop, a nervous female cop, and it just looks wrong. That's just obvious. It's grotesque. What a weird society. We just blind eyes like, no, nothing looks wrong. But that's this. What we're going to do that with everything now? We're going to do that with everything? We just close our eyes like, no, this is just an evil cop. Evil cop. COVID. They try to lock us down. I don't know. What do y'all think? Because you could call me about it. Let's see here. What else? Turning on the blue. Can we say there's like a incredible incompetence? This like rising incompetence and cowardice, which is a reflection of the people in the culture. So don't start acting like, oh, you're not in it. Like, here's the thing. Someone like Jesse going like, it just doesn't look right to see a young guy or a millennial or whatever stand in front of a screen playing a video game or something. It just doesn't look right. They're just different. This generation, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. I get that. Comes from a different time. But now I'm seeing people jump on the bandwagon like you weren't raised in the same my generational cohort. Don't start being all high and mighty like you were raised in the culture. But look, anyways, all this to say, the cops, what was I saying? Turning on the blue. Look, it's this incompetence, this rising incompetence that reflects the people, and this out of control train a little bit. Well, they say that murder and stuff used to be worse, but it seems there seems to be a resurgence. We're going back that way. It's like a directional thing, and there seems to be the crime arrow is pointing up, folks. And this Mad Max kind of a porch pirate world is harder and harder to manage. So police are in a bit of an arms race, but they're blocked by something. And I want to get into that in a moment. But that's kind of the multiple factors here with the police. And in a crazy world, shouldn't you want to check your P's and Q's and your own behavior better than ever? Because look, you could get in trouble. Because the world's evil in a wrong way, in an unjust way. You'd want to do that? I mean, we'd say the same thing for these people who get pulled over and they say, well, no, I'm a sovereign citizen or whatever reason. I'm being pulled over for the wrong reason. We say those people, that's the wrong place to fight it. You're being pulled over. You're being arrested. You fight that in the courts and all that. So, what am I saying? That, just the same thing applies. And why it applies is because the world's evil. And the police are, let's say you truly believe, the blue is, we got to turn on the blue. They're just, I don't know, arms of the Democrats or something. you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up. You got to be wise as serpents, you know? You know what I'm saying? So what else about that? 888-775-3773. About to get the calls here. One more story with the cop shooting. This is with a black man. And they're saying, bad shoot. This guy was just on the front porch. He was even saying to the cop, you know me. What's the big deal? Whatever. And they're saying they just killed this guy. They just totally murdered this guy. Brandon, what is this guy's name? Brandon Qualls over in Indy Police. And so, okay, I guess I should tell you a little bit about this. Officers were called to this area after receiving multiple calls about Qualls waving and pointing a gun at strangers in the area, reportedly threatening to shoot people. He made his way later onto a stranger's porch, and this is where, on this stranger's porch, this is where officers are responding to Brandon. You know, people saw this video, instantly thought this guy was just on this front porch, and these officers just arrived and killed him, not knowing the context and all that. You know how context goes, but let's see. But can I just warn you guys, it's totally blurred. It's. I mean, within terms of service, there's no blood showing. But for a split second, you'll see the officer shoot, and Brandon, his whole body will go blurred. So you won't see anything, but that's essentially a dead or almost dead man behind that blur. It's not nice. So just a warning. It's a quick moment. And yeah, this is the shoot that they're talking about a bit. Wait, hold on. What'd I do here? Bada bing.
You're fine. You know me. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't what I think it is. If I'm wrong, tell me, please. Bro, hands up! Stop. Hands up!
He's like, hands up. And I think that's the slow-mo, you know, to say that he brought the gun up. It looks like it points at the officer. He says, they're saying that, you know, he was just so calm, and he's like, you know me, I wouldn't do this if I didn't have to, or something like that. So this is a murder, they're saying, but I don't know if you know. People act like that, and like, hey, man, I'm just sorry, I'm not going to do anything, right before they brutalize you. They do a violent attack. It's a strategy. It's how it goes. So you just don't let that gun point at you. You just can't let that happen. And that's a little bit on the cops. Maybe you understood what I was getting at. Some of the reactions I noticed, people a little, like you watch something like this, it's so clear. He had a gun and all that. And for all the criticisms you could have for the police officer, it's clear that you could have it for this guy here. He put himself in this situation. Can't we have that same energy on all things? I know someone even said, hey, how can you blame that woman? How can you blame that woman for not being aware of that lady, of that woman who stabbed her 3-year-old at that Walmart or whatever? How could you not care? Look, I'm telling you folks, I'm stabbing people all the time. You can ask the people in the office. And I've chilled a little bit so that they think that they're in a false sense of security. But I'm catching them I'm in their back, and they have no clue. I'm telling you, I walked up to Bill this just earlier. He was getting out of his car. Transitional spaces. You got to watch your transitional spaces. And I got into stabbing distance. Let's say he had a gun. I could close that distance before he could pull up his gun, and it's over. And he looked at me. He's like, oh, hey, what's up, Nick? I'm telling you. And I only do that. Because I know how unaware I could be. And I've seen that that's evil. That's wrong. And I'm not really doing that. I do that for fun. It's just a funny thing. But it's funny to also notice how unaware people are. And you're just always out there unaware. And this woman in this video, that Walmart thing where the 3-year-old got stabbed, this house of a black queen with a giant glistening knife, walking around like just strange, walking funny. Everybody just walking by, not even looking at her. I bet you there's Satan is at play there, by the way. Have you ever noticed when you're in public that when something is weird or something's off about someone, you tend to look away and you don't want to examine. You want to just be like, I don't see it. Isn't that strange? Have you noticed that? But anyways, there's this house of a woman with this knife, giant knife, and then when this lady with the 3-year-old walks by, instantly she turns around and just zeroes in and walks slowly. Walks all the way out and like halfway out of the parking lot, she didn't notice. That's her fault. That part is on her. Don't you agree? Come on, folks. And last thing here about the police, let's get to calls. Here's the thing about the police. Here's the thing you don't understand about the police. Okay. Oh, they're defunding the police. It's like, what's going to happen? Chaos, pandemonium. No. They're going to stop crime. Trust me. The police will stop crime. And anyone that dissents, it will happen. You think, where, Nick? When is it going to happen? I promise. Unless you undo society, but the police will come back. They will stomp this out. And here's why. And no amount of black women and Black Lives Matter protests and that's racist. The cops are racist. They killed George Floyd. No amount of that is going to stop what's coming. Here's what I mean. No amount of that is going to stop the hard boot of the law. Okay, it's just that right now, currently, in these times of conflict, it's not beneficial. It's more beneficial to use the police politically because there is a writhing going on, a writhing of great beasts that I don't quite understand. Maybe a lot of us don't quite understand. It's political. It's beyond politics. It's spiritual. We're fighting ourselves and each other, and people a little more shrewd or whatever are using that. You understand what I'm saying here? There's a writhing of power, and they're in a struggle. Okay, the struggle of supremacy. So the clown policing, the clown world will continue until there's a winner. And once there's a winner, they will stomp down on the people. And the people thinking that they're going to be, the winners in this society don't really understand what's happening. You understand what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, the police are just going away. They just don't want to do it. No, it's on purpose. It's political. And once there's a winner, they will stomp down on the Black Lives Matter, on the Palestinians, on whatever. You understand what I'm saying here? And so the protesting and all that, it's all just, you're just spinning in circles. So that's not going to happen. It's like, the chaos is measured in a sense. I don't know. Will these people playing SimCity with us let it go out of hand? I don't know. Like, many things can happen, but maybe you understand my thinking here on that, okay? No one's stopping the police. It's just a matter of who gets to pull the lever. You feel me? Okay. Let's get to before I get to calls here, and I'm glad you called me. Speaking of this struggle, it's Maze who's on hold, and I want to get to her. Maze out of Dayton, Ohio. Here's the thing about Maze is I heard her on the Hake Report earlier, and the thing is she'll be happy when the police stomp, but I think her and maybe her ilk, I don't know, anyone angry, and what I'm trying to say is I think she'll be a little surprised in that I heard her say something about basically how slavery might happen again. I mean, they were talking about slavery, right? She was, criticizing any notion of a measured approach to slavery, like that was any good or it wasn't all just bad, and any insight or understanding on that. But she left the door open, and she can explain herself in a moment here if I'm wrong in putting words in her mouth. But it sounded like she left the door open to slavery being on the other foot. And she did. She seemed to say that with a smile. I didn't see her face, but you know what I'm trying to say here, Maze. So Maze, we'll get to you here. I just wonder, and I hear others say this too. They call the network, and I hear other places that the time is coming where you'll see what you've been doing, it'll be done unto you what was done unto us. And like, that's a win. Like, that's at all a win somehow. And I find it so almost unbelievable to be okay with this reverse slavery. I find it almost unbelievable when you look at what the white people response. Can we summarize it? Maybe there's tit for tat and people offended each other and it's like Tulsa and it's like, oh my God. But essentially, whites have built an amazing society and then they're like, you know what, guys, look at all this colonialism stuff. Look, can we make it up to you? You know what? Isn't that essentially the summary? And what do? They're like, no, F you. We're going to enslave you. It's like not even no, slavery is wrong. We agree on that. But you know what? On these things, we just can't agree. And so we'll go our separate ways. No, one day the shoe will be on the other foot. And I almost find it almost unbelievable. I almost find it unbelievable a little bit. So I want to get to Maze. Sorry about the preface. And I know someone will get to line 2 there. We'll get right to Maze. She could talk about this. I appreciate her calls. But Maze, I heard, am I wrong? Am I wrong, Maze? Because she called me on Friday. Am I wrong, Maze? Is it?
You were wrong as you just said.
But am I wrong about what I'm about to say here? Is it true that you are GD? Is that? I don't want to put that on you. But
where did you get that from?
I don't want to say. Look, here's where I get that from. I'm not trying to test your gangster. I'm saying you might be gangster, and I appreciate that. I kind of respect it. And I'm talking about GD, which stands for Gangster Disciples. It's a gang. And I played their anthem on Friday, and Maze called in, and she's like, particularly chose that song, and she's like, I like that song. So,
I can't like music.
You're allowed to like music, but you particularly liked the GD anthem. Maze, are we to understand you are GD?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just a person that I don't let other people use my brains to tell me how I'm supposed to think and what I need to be and what I need to do. That's me. And I'm not afraid of anything. That's me. I did not say that. I said slavery would never happen again for those that want it. That's what I said.
Say that again.
Slavery will not happen again for those that want it. I would not put anybody in slavery.
Right on, Maze. Yeah.
And for those that did, we know where they went.
For those that did what?
Put people in slavery.
Gotcha.
So that's how I feel about slavery. But when it comes to the cops, now, and these people that call in here every day want to talk about what happened on Juneteenth. Now, 2 shootings happened this week. I heard that person say, now, 1 murder. 1 shot, 2 cops. I said, they didn't tell who he was. I said, he's living. But then you would take one man sitting on the porch, or whatever you just said. He's sitting on the porch and hadn't shot or did anything, or innocent, or showing them their weapons. They dead. But why this man is still living?
Which man is
shot up all these people at the grocery store?
Which man is still living?
One was in Arkansas this weekend. But you don't hear people discussing why did those people going around shooting people. But it's always about what the black community did. But let's overlook what we do. We don't want people to look at what we do.
Who's not discussing that, though? Who's not discussing what that...
I always want to talk about what happened on Juneteenth. And I'm quite sure the 4th of July some Caucasians going to be shot, too, and not by black people.
No, but wait, who's not talking about that, though? You must be talking about some other network or something.
You was talking about the man that got shot. I'm saying the one, 2 this weekend.
Right, I know you're talking about different stories, and you're saying that those people in those stories who are white, they didn't die from the cops, and you're expressing this...
No, one of them shot 2 cops. 2 cops are in the hospital from the one in Arkansas.
Right.
He shot him, but he's still living. Why did the cops let him live and not kill him? Because he caused harm.
I'm following that part, right?
I wonder why that happened.
You're bringing up those stories to express a disparity here and how cops treat different criminals. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm following that.
Okay.
But hold on. Yeah. I'm following what you're saying there.
Do that bother you?
But wait, I'll get to that. You were saying about. I forgot about those
I said, do it make you wonder sometimes that they can shoot certain people and certain people they don't shoot. They put them in the car and take them to jail when they should be dead too. Just like the other people that
I don't know. You don't know that.
Unless you got
different situations. You can just like you said, July 4th. I bet you there's a white person that'll die and it won't be blacks. You could do that for every little situation, and including this one. You could say in the same situation, like the Arkansas one. Oh, I bet you there's one where the white guy did die. Like, it's just crazy, man.
In Arkansas, it was 2 shootings. It was another man shot.
Right, you're just showing...
So, killed 8 people, and he's still alive. The police should have went in shooting him. They shouldn't have gave him a chance to do nothing.
Why? How do you know? Why do you say that?
Because there's 2 policemen in the hospital from him shooting, but they took him to jail.
But let's say, cops have like rules, right? So let's say if the guy shot 2 cops and then and then these other cops got the drop on him, and he drops his gun and puts his hand up. I mean, the cops can't really shoot him at that point. Like the cops have rules, so you're just saying that, kind of throwing that on a general.
Some people don't have. They
You're
always
just
thought they had a gun.
wait. Would you at least accept? Fine. You want to fight about it, Maze?
Yeah,
You want to just fight me on it? Fine.
No,
But let me just put it like this. Maze. Would you at least agree with that statement I just said, that cops have rules and they can't just, even if a criminal is particularly violent at one moment, that the criteria of shooting and all that can change. Can you agree on that? Can we agree on that?
No.
You don't agree that the criteria of when you can kill, like a cop. Okay, fine. Let's make it even simpler.
When you can kill.
Will you agree with this? That a police officer doesn't always have the right to kill a criminal, even if they're
have
violent.
the right to kill a criminal, period, because they're not the only.
And why? Why doesn't a cop always have? How does that criteria change whether a cop has the right to kill a criminal or not?
When one is shooting back at them, or you're shooting some cops, and then
you do agree that at moment by moment that can change.
Oh yes, but unless you got a point of view.
Even though previously you said you did. Okay, so I'm glad we're there.
Unless you got in your heart to just kill certain people just because of what they look like and do it in that way, but you don't see them going
Fair
around
enough,
killing people
Maze.
look like them.
Fair enough, and I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise.
Don't you wonder sometimes?
I'm not going to. No, I don't personally do. And here, you know what? I'm not even going to try to convince you. You believe that the cops are treating criminals in disparaging ways, and you believe maybe it's by race or whatever. Let me finish, Mace. Okay. You believe that. I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise, but I'm glad we can agree. I'm glad we could at least agree that you left at least a little tiny bit of space that cops that changes. The criteria on when they can shoot and kill someone can change. So it sounds like you left a little space for that. So we appreciate it, Maze. But we're not going to try and convince you on that.
And also, Nick, since somebody wanted to know how people not to give an answer to the healing on the phone, is why men don't marry women that look like their mothers. A whole lot of people don't marry women that look like their mothers. But some of the mothers are happy that they married a woman, period. And some don't have a woman at all. And then I have a question for you, Nick. If your mother and your father had a whole lot of companies and businesses and running them, would you expect to take it over and act like you did it, and you never did nothing in your life but take their business over, or should they leave it to you?
Can you repeat the last part of your question again?
Say your mother and father built a company.
Yeah.
And they passed away. Mm-hmm. Should you take it over and act as if you did something and you didn't have anything to do with that business that they put together?
Absolutely.
How would you feel about taking it over and act like you did something?
Depends. I don't know that situation, but I mean, it depends. There's the people who receive things that they totally deserve because they were trained up in it. For whatever reason. There's people who get things.
I'm not trained up in
There's
it.
people who get there's people who get things, and it's like, okay, well, they're clearly out of their depth and all that. Would you agree that all those situations exist?
Some of those situations.
So for you to even say something like,
no, Nick, I'm asking you the question so I give you.
How would I? For you to even ask me how would I feel? It's
how
like,
would you feel?
What a crazy question. I don't have a family giving me a business like that.
No, can I finish?
No, I'm almost done. I'm telling you why that's a crazy question. To be like, how would you feel? Because it's like, maybe I have a low IQ and I don't understand hypotheticals. But look, I just don't know what you're talking about. I'm not receiving a business, and I don't know. I might feel nervous because it doesn't seem like I don't have parents who trained me up in the ways. Are you saying that parents can't train up their children in the ways and give them the business?
I said your mother and father had a business, and they had it, and let's say you had a brother and sister that was taking care of them. You wasn't doing nothing on the outside looking in, but then you come in like a bat out of hell.
What was wrong with that?
Created that business, and you didn't have.
Is something wrong with that? Is something wrong with that?
Yes, it is.
Why?
Yes, it is. They shouldn't be left nothing.
Why?
I'm gonna say it like Trump said. They shouldn't leave them nothing.
But if you're a parent who wants to do, if you're a parent who wants to commit that error, what business is it of yours?
What business is of mine?
Yeah.
That's being selfish.
Why?
Because you've taken over something and you ain't created nothing of your own, but you've taken over something somebody else.
But you already made someone that's like you. You already made your own. You made this like copy of yourself, sort of. And in this shallow thinking, people want to leave things to this progeny, and that makes total sense. People want to leave things to the next people coming. It's hard to find good help, anyways.
You leave things to the
and if you disagree with that, I don't know, you still haven't quite told me why or why you said selfish. You said selfish, but whatever.
You should leave things to your selfish some of your selfish.
So you're saying leave it to who then?
The ones that helped you out and did things with you.
And they're not selfish?
Not the ones that didn't do nothing. No, they're not
What,
selfish.
because they worked for you? But people receive, because why? Because they worked for you? But people who aren't family receive things all the time because of some.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What is your point? What is your ultimate point here?
I'm saying my ultimate
Are you
point.
just don't like nepotism? What's your point here?
You have selfish kids out there that would do stuff like that and act like they was smart to help out and then
She's
do
not
nothing
getting
with
quite
the
to it.
problem
She's
of the
not
family.
getting quite to it. What's
I know you're not.
is
You're
it
not understanding
nepotism? What's the problem? You've described so far. You've described so far a maybe unfortunate scenario where a business owner leaves it to someone who's either not willing or not prepared to something, and in a sense that could be like selfish. But aren't they allowed to bomb? Aren't they allowed to crash their business that they built up in the first place into the ground by giving it to the wrong person? Aren't they allowed?
That's how the business gets crashed. That's how it get crashed.
Okay, so you just think it's a little selfish. Okay, I get your point.
Selfish. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, you think it's fine. Okay, but that's all I had to say.
Cool.
And so that's why I say the things that I say because I'm not afraid of anything or anybody, and I speak my mind and my opinion. And when it comes to Black Lives Matter, I don't know what Black Lives Matter ever did to some of you.
They do nothing. Or
it's just a crutch flag.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter pushed my phone out of my hand when I was filming the riots. But I think Black Lives Matter brought it back to me, so I forgave them.
Oh, really? And then you get in your Christian spirit and act like you're a Christian, but you do.
No, for real. I went out there to film the riots, and then someone took the phone and they took it. I'm like, there goes the stream. But then and then another black man brought it back to me. So in that same moment, it happened really quick. I became a racist and then forgave.
Well, that's what you want to be a bigot. That's your business.
No, I'm not joking. I don't hate no.
That's your
Baze,
business, and that's how you do it.
Thank you, Baze. An absolute pleasure.
I didn't say I wanted slavery to come back. I said there will never be
My apologies,
slaves
Baze.
again.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again.
There will never be slaves again.
You're saying there will never be slaves again.
What the grandfathers had, it will never happen.
You're saying for those that want what their grandfathers had, it will never happen. Did you say anything about those people who would wish it back, that they'll be enslaved? Were you saying something like that?
I don't want us to know.
Wait, were you saying something about those people who wish slavery to be back? You're saying it'll never happen. Were you saying that those people will be enslaved possibly?
No.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Apologies,
Maze,
but
I
have an understanding and walk around with a blank brain.
I appreciate that, Maze.
Okay,
that sounds unlike you, so thank you.
You have a good one.
Call me again, 888-775-3773. You know, the point stands about those haters you've heard say that, and I know some of you have heard them. You know, they're out there. They call the network, and I'm glad Maze could clear that up. I wouldn't have said it otherwise, Maze. So thank you. If you weren't here to clear it up, so. But Maze is GD. And I'm saying GD as in maybe God's disciple. Like maybe like that. Because I would not, feds, the feds in the chat think they're smart and clever. We're joking. It's all games, Minecraft. And if you listen to the show, it's love. We talk about love. It's a love stream. We love Maze. And she's not involved with any gang activity, so you leave that woman alone. She just liked the song, which I like too, by the way, and I'm not GD. Okay, but Maze is GD. Maze is GD. Oh, GD. Okay, that's a joke. If GD is watching, that was a total joke. Leave me alone in the streets of Los Angeles. Okay, I didn't do no gang signs. Okay. That's between y'all, okay? But she's GD. Okay. I'll get back to calls here, 888-775-3773. They say, though, here's something they say, and I didn't know they said this. I learned recently that they said this. But they say this. The academics, maybe. The people. I mean, it's a Wikipedia article, folks. It's a Wikipedia article, so they say this. If it's a Wikipedia article, I think they say this. Okay? Here's what they say. Here's the article, the Wikipedia article on Nadir. I think it's pronounced Nadir. Sounds Arab. That's not a name. No, it's like astronomy and geometry. It's the opposite of a zenith. If you know anything about directions here. Where's your chakras at, huh? Nadir, the Nadir of American race relations. And what this is Well, it's a Wikipedia article, so you know it's real. And set in stone, in proverbial stone of Wikipedia, the article reads, the nadir of American race relations was the period in African American history and the history of the United States from the end of Reconstruction in 1877 through the early 20th century, when racism in the country, and particularly anti-black racism, was more open and pronounced than it had ever been during any other period in the nation's history, okay? So it's set in stone. It's better now. So stop with the salty grits. All right? Folks, the nadir already happened. It already happened. It's a Wikipedia article. The lowest, the most racist time already happened. So quit it. Let it go. Are we in the zenith, or is the zenith approaching of anti-white racism and, hate, anti-white stuff? Is the zenith approaching? What's going on? There's some other places who seem to have had their zenith of anti-white stuff. South Africa comes to mind. I can't help but mention it. And you think the porch pirates is as bad as it gets? No, I don't think so. I, for some reason, entirely doubt it. Okay? Entirely. So we'll get to calls back. We'll get back to calls here in a minute. 888-775-3773. Let me see here. buymeacoffee.com/anchor, baby. Appreciate it. White Lion NYC with the trip coffee says, Nicolás Maduro. Maybe he's calling me that. Wasn't he the lead? What was it? Venezuela, the Venezuelan head of state for some time. Nicolás Maduro. I remember the Mexicans at the Chateau Marmont, which I obviously have to mention any chance I get. I was cooking at the Chateau with the Mexicans in the back, and they would call me Maduro, Nicolás Maduro. So that's funny. Anyways, he's saying, White Light NYC says, I am against the, what is this? What is that, an emoji of the nose? A little nose emoji? Nicolás Maduro, I am against the nose emoji that Jesse worships. I have hope in you and Hake. Are you talking about the Jewish people? White Light NYC? You might be mistaken on this coffee, but I appreciate the commentary, sir. You may be seeing something a little wrong. Maybe an assumption. Nicolás Maduro. But White Line NYC, appreciate the coffees. There's, I don't know, what am I trying to say here? Look, there's something to say about that. I got this thing on Thomas Massey. We might get into this in a moment. But what can I tell you about this, sir? White Line NYC, I've shown you, if you can't see on my show over some episodes, how I've shown you anybody who gets mad, who blames, becomes retardando, and they ruin their lives. If you haven't seen that, I've shown you examples, the white man and the black man coming together against the Jew. I don't know if it's all tulips and hunky-dory, sir. It's not just all, let's get rid of AIPAC and the Israeli influence in Congress. It's not like salient points and even that, there's something to say about that. We'll get into that hopefully later. Because I don't know who's right here. It's an interesting thing here. There's two sides here, and you might find it interesting. It's not just that, folks. It's hate, blame, and victimhood. It's getting nasty. So it's just not clear where you're coming from. White Line NYC but you know what is clear to me is where James comes from. Where Joel comes from, where Jesse comes from. As much as I can see, as far as I can see and peer, right? It's the desire to work on yourself, get better, see past lies, not lead people the wrong way, not confuse people. You know, it's funny. There was this guy who called the Hake Report, John from Kentucky. He said something about Big Bump. He said something about Big Bump's commentary in church, and he said, he sounded like he was just repeating some Jesse answer and trying to please the crowd or Jesse. And he said something about Jesse pointing out, putting him on the spot. He said that in his own words, John from Kentucky, who's a person who is very critical and all that. And I almost wonder, it's like, for all the things that you critics want to have about Bond, it's this or that. They're brainwasher. He's a brainwasher. Look how they brainwashed Big Bump. Look what did they do to my boy? Why would a brainwasher, a worshiper of anything but, whatever. I don't want to talk about other people's hearts too much, but you're saying worshiping the nose or whatever. Why would a brainwasher want to put someone on the spot and challenge notions and preconceived ideas and thoughts or whatever in a continual process of refinement? Why would a brainwasher want to do that? Okay. And so I see that spirit in the network. And Line NYC, appreciate the continued support. We're just going to keep rocking what we're doing. Thank you, Rumble. What's up, Old Saucy, Ohio Sentinel? Rock on. Thank you. We'll get to calls again. Appreciate the patience. Where was I? I wanted to do this real quick, I think. Where were we? You know what? Let's save this. We'll get right to it after this call. Some silly things, some techie things, and maybe some commentary on people. I think you'll find this at least interesting on this fine Tuesday, huh? At least a little entertaining. Mark, Los Angeles, on the air. How you doing, sir?
Good, thanks, Nick.
No problem.
Yeah, I think you forget something here. Yesterday or the other day, when I called and we talked about the woman whose baby was murdered by a black savage in Cleveland that was stabbed to death. And I believe I caught your show a little late, but it sounded to me like you were blaming, in part,
right,
the mother. Did I get that right?
Yeah, blaming her for her unawareness.
Okay, that's ridiculous, and I'll tell you why it's ridiculous. If that were true, the cops would have charged her with child neglect.
No.
If she was in any way, shape, or form responsible for that little boy getting murdered, she should have been, according to your way of thinking,
I see.
She should have been charged with child neglect. Why wasn't she?
I see where you're coming from, and I think it's a little, you're not seeing it how I'm seeing it, and she's not legally liable for this death of this kid. She didn't stab the kid.
According to your description of
and we
the
kind of
event,
already hashed this out a little bit yesterday, so we'll cut through it a little bit if you allow me.
Because I thought you were settled on this. I told you the woman it was a surprise attack. How in any way can you blame her?
Right, no, and I said, remember, I gave all that credence to the fact that when you're on the defense, you're already at a disadvantage. This is a random attack. I leave all that space, right? But you agreed with me that had she had been more aware, it's possible that maybe this could have been avoided. You understand what I'm saying here? So
yeah, but I don't agree.
You don't agree with that at all? That if she had been more aware, had she just simply seen that someone was following, had she simply just seen, maybe even that. But look, we're talking about if she had simply seen that there was a person following her with a knife, do you think things could have gone differently?
I don't know. Hard to say. That's speculation.
Right, but that's why I'm asking you coulda. It's a shoulda, coulda, woulda. We agree, speculation. But would you answer? Would you be willing to answer and give us your take? Like, do you think in the realm of possibilities, we're giving a lot of space here, a lot of leeway here. In the realm of possibilities, man, if she was aware, if she had simply seen this person with a knife, do you think things could have gone a little differently?
I don't know. If you look at the size of the beast that attacked the little boy and you look at the size of the mother, I don't know. I don't really think so.
But it's not even about fighting. What about getting away? The same size argument could be used about speed. She's so big and bumbling, maybe you could have run away. Had she seen something.
You have to answer my question. If she's in any way, shape, or form, neglecting the boy that led to his murder.
But we're not talking about neglect. You're adding that in. No, you're adding that in. We're not talking about neglect. We're not talking about legal neglect. We're not talking about legal neglect where the
about.
cops. We're not talking about legal neglect where
No,
the
no,
cops
you
would have to
said-
charge her. You're being a
No,
little
okay,
obtuse here, don't you agree, Mark? Because I'm
No,
not
the
talking about
charge-
that. No, but I'm
No,
not.
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you leave your child alone and he's picked up by a pedophile, you're going to be charged. Okay? The cops are going to charge you for neglect.
Okay.
And if you're claiming that this woman was in any way, 1% in any possible way responsible for what that savage did to her kid, she should have been charged with neglect, but she wasn't.
But how are you being so obtuse on this? Don't you think people
Because
don't get
she's
charged for
another
things?
victim.
People don't get, Mark, come on. People don't get charged for things all the time. That doesn't mean they didn't do. Here, let's put it like this. In that same pedophile scenario you threw together, let's say this hypothetical parent doesn't get charged for neglect, but this pedophilia happens. Would you say that despite not getting charged, that parent did something wrong?
Yes.
And it's like that parent did not rape the kid. That parent didn't do anything. That parent didn't want their kid hurt by this PDF file. But would you agree that parent had a part to play in their unawareness or whatever, despite not being legally charged in this hypothetical?
Yeah, I think she should have.
Can't you lend the same thinking to a woman who was unaware of a horrible stabbing, which we're not blaming her for this stabbing, but can't you put the least amount on her about her unawareness, which could have changed the situation?
Because you are blaming
her unawareness. Okay, let's put it like this: is that woman's unawareness the lady with the knife's fault?
Say it again.
Is the lady who was unaware of this this woman with a knife following her? She was unaware. Is that woman who was following her? Is that her fault that this woman was unaware?
No.
Whose fault was that?
It was the lady with the knife's fault, 100%.
No. I'm asking you, the lady with the knife, is it her fault that this woman was unaware that she was behind her?
It wasn't her fault. No.
So then whose fault was it?
No, the only person at fault is the lady that killed the little boy with the knife.
For the killing. Yeah, but now, why are you dropping thinking? You're following the questions. You're following the conversation. But when it gets to this final point where I just want you to answer the question, you drop all thinking and you go, no, the only person's fault is. You sound like the blacks who just blame. You sound like the blacks who blame the
She's a white
cops.
victim of black crime.
You sound like the blacks who blame the cops. And you're just
no, I'm not blaming the cops.
No, but you sound like them. You see, if you follow I'm being quite clear with my language.
Yeah, how am I blaming the cops?
I'm not saying you're blaming the cops. I'm saying you sound like the blacks who blame the cops. Are you following that?
Yeah, but that's apples.
Or are you just being obtuse? I don't think you're not dumb. I don't think you're dumb, Mark. I think you're following what I'm saying.
No, I
said you sound like the blacks who blame. You sound like that.
Sure. I'm not going to put any blame on the white victim of a black crime.
But I'm not putting the blame on her about that. I'm just saying, don't you think awareness could help? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you earlier in your show here, you said she was partially at fault. Your words. So if she was partially at fault, she should have been charged.
I'm very specific. You're being obtuse, not me. You're being obtuse. I said for what? For what? Blame for what? Hey, we already hashed this though. No. We already hashed this out, Mark. We already hashed this out. How many times can I repeat myself? I'm quite specific on the blame here and on what I'm saying.
Okay, maybe I missed it. Yes or no? Should she have been charged for neglect, the mother?
Huh?
Should she have been charged with neglect? Yes or no?
Who's saying that? That's ridiculous.
So
if you think that's what I'm saying, no. That shows that you don't understand what I'm saying. But that's okay. We're not gonna. I don't want to argue about it anymore.
No, that's fine.
That sounds like you don't understand what I'm saying. That shows that you don't understand what I'm saying.
No, you're
and I don't want to argue about it.
Aware that she's partially at fault because she was not aware.
Oh, and fault for what? At fault for what?
For not being maybe able to stop the woman from stabbing her boy.
Right. Because it could.
That's what you said.
Don't you think she could have? Don't you think she could have?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you said.
You are saying that I'm faulting her for getting stabbed. Like she's the one that stabbed this kid. No, we all know that.
I didn't go that
that's clear.
far.
That's clear. But that's what you're saying, that that I'm partially justifying, and I'm not doing that at all. So it's
No,
like it's
that's
just a
not at all.
misunderstanding here, and I can't get past this wall, and I don't want to try anymore.
Okay. Well, all I could say is when these people commit crimes against us, I'm talking about the blacks
Right.
because there's a war on whites right now, that to put any blame on the victim is just evil. Not saying you're evil, but don't fall for what they try to say. Like,
Right. See, this
I
is what
told
I'm
you
getting at.
yesterday-
This is what I'm getting at. You think I'm falling for something, or I'm getting at something, and I'm actually blaming the white person, but you can't see past that. You can't see past. Well, are they blaming the white person or not? Are you blaming the white
this
person or
whole-
not? You can't see past that. But whatever. The nitpicking is maybe not even necessary. We don't need to fight about this. Look, we all know. We agree. There's black crime happening to white people. They hate white people. We agree on that. Look, if you want to nitpick on that, fine. Let's move on.
Well,
No, I don't disagree
okay,
with that,
well,
Mark.
hold on.
I'm not here to fight about that. You want to fight about that?
Sure.
Like I'm saying that like I'm teaming up with some anti-white stuff and blaming the white person. When I'm pointing out that when you're just kind of you're the example of what I'm trying to point out here. Just like that's all you see. Can we?
Okay,
It's so easy to see these criminals deal with the cops and be like, well, that person was fighting. This person should have checked their behavior. But we got a person unaware, and you can't agree on this little point that she should have been more aware. It's a crazy world. And that's not blaming her for the death of the 3-year-old. That's just blaming her for the appropriate thing, and that's her unawareness, which we're all guilty of.
Right. When this story came out last week, and Hake talked about it, I called. We talked about it, and then after that, I looked through the comments, and one white-hating demon that's a regular on Hake's show wrote in and said that the mother was at fault because she wasn't aware of her surroundings. And the person who said that is a white hater. And you're echoing his claim. That's all.
All right, sir. Thank you, Mark.
I love you. Thanks.
No, man, call me again. Appreciate it.
Will do.
No problem at all. Nah, no problem at all, Mark. You could call me. Hey, I love you. If we love anyone, if he loves anyone. But hey, call me again, Mark. I've been quite clear. Y'all want to be obtuse with me? Fine. You want to be obtuse? Be obtuse. Chat away. But you're being obtuse, folks. But hey, maybe I'm nitpicking like way too hard here. We're splitting hairs at this point. I just can't help when my spidey senses go off on just retardation. Just like, is a white hater or not? Hold on. It's like, I'm being quite clear with what I'm saying. But why? But whatever. It's. People don't need to see what I'm nitpicking about. People don't need to see that. 888-775-3773. Look at this. Speaking of what? Zenith? No. Speaking of zenith of technology, what are we talking about here? Changes in technology. We're talking about progress, maybe a little bit. Where are we going? What direction are we going? By the way, do you have it on yet? You have your White History Month on yet? You got to have it on. JulyFeelsWhite.com. But anyways, first Neuralink patient told Joe Rogan the implant is like aimbot. You remember this guy? I told you about him. He was the first, receiver of this implant, Neuralink implant, this chip that connects to the brain that translates your brain waves or whatever so that you can control computers and different devices. This is a man, forget his name, who has no function in his arms or legs. I forget, does he have arms and legs? He may have arms and legs, but I know he's like a quadriplegic or something. And they gave him this implant and he could control computers. It's kind of an amazing thing. Think about it. This is an interesting case study and proof of concept on many things. The ability to record neural pathways and neural actions and record them to such a precision that you can replicate everything you think, hear, feel. Well, I don't know about think, but everything you feel and all those, even the impulses that you fire off when you try and interact with the world around you. It can all be replicated. It's all an interesting proof of concept here. They've even proved that they can even kind of make you, but quite possibly make you see stuff. But so he's saying, this guy with the implant is saying you can, that he's got aimbot. If anybody knows anything about little games, aimbot is like a cheat. It aims right at the target. You don't have to use your mouse because this cheating program is doing it for you, and you just dominate the games, right? Because you're aimbotting. And they're saying it's like aimbot. This is incredible technology. They're already beating bosses. They're already beating bosses in famous games with this mind control stuff. Oh. You're watching Elden Ring at some video game. You're watching some girl with some, I don't know, head, some thing on her head. And they are saying that she's controlling. Everything you're seeing is controlled with her mind. All the movements, all the dodges. Harrowing fight. Or whatever. She's not breaking a sweat. She's just thinking this through. And she's controlling all this with her mind. It's amazing technology, okay? Whatever you want to say. And here's the thing about that. For whenever you may think, I'm not putting a chip in my head. Here's the thing about that, first of all. They're going to make it non-invasive, too. Watch. They'll just give it some time. They'll make non-invasive ones, but everyone is going to have one eventually. I'm telling you, that if it's to this level and this precision already, that you can control things simply with your mind, I'm telling you, everyone's going to have one. Everyone's going to have one. Maybe not you listening, but I don't know if you quite understand the paradigm shift here that's happening. But that's a little bit on the techie side. We were following the Neuralink peeps. And we got the guy with the implant working well. He's saying he's dominating, aimbotting. You're like, whatever, Nick. So they're just going to make video games crazy. Yeah, that's enough. You think, what amazing things are they going to do with Neuralink chips? What, play video games? Yeah, that's literally the enough reason, and everyone will have one. Oh, what, you can click a YouTube video with your mind and, I don't know, look at a document. And yeah, that's literally the reason why everyone's going to have one. So that's what's happening a little bit. Mind games. The future is here, and then we'll get to calls. It's a mess. The future is here. How will they deal with criminals, you wonder? We're watching the criminals. We're looking at the people saying, why are you talking about black people? Just whatever. Let them do whatever. Why are you focusing on black people? You're looking at the nervous female cops, the ever-increasing arms race with the cops where they're dealing with the politics, but also getting tougher. They're going to have the drones. They're going to have the dogs with the AR-15s, face identification software. You will be identifiable at all times. So that's all going on. That's all going on. So how will they deal with the prisoners? How this giant influx of criminals? The criminals are raising criminals. What's going to happen?
Welcome to 𝒂𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. 𝒂𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎 could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by 𝒂𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎 would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The 𝒂𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎
It's all sci-fi, right? This will never happen, right?
concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than...
We're plugged in already. Are you kidding me? All chatting and watching, Nick. Yeah, y'all acting like you're a bunch of farmers out there with the nature and all that. Stop it. You're cyborgs. You're basically cyborgs.
Punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation...
Who's fast-tracking? Like, just fast-track me. Like, frig it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I'll be like that Blade Runner guy, and I'll have this memory of a far-off, nice, happy thing.
The Cognifi device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognifi device to target specific...
Is it getting wacky now?
Brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala.
They got the EDM music. This is future stuff, bro. But look, for whatever you might say, there's been some interesting proofs of concepts. If you can recreate neural pathways, and if all our reality is perception of these neural, patterns, then what the heck is reality? What the heck do you know? We could be full diving into VR, no problem. Okay, look, we're almost done. Then we'll get to calls. We got calls. And whoever you dropped, you were a good, interesting call, sir. If you are listening, call me back.
Parietal lobe and
I think
anterior...
It's Cameron, maybe. Call me back, Cameron.
Cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognifi is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity and the type of artificial memories is then adjusted depending on the crime. Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes. Synthetic memories are customized.
Synthetic memories, stop it. You're watching Blade Runner. Who posted this? Clint Russell, Liberty Lock Pod on Twitter. And it's unclear. It's being shared by everybody. Somewhat. Everybody, I guess, people I follow. And it's, dang, why is it racking up so many views? People like videos like this. This stuff gets hits and future stuff. Cyberpunk. 8 million views. But that's a little bit on that and the incoming future. They talk about progress. Like they know what it is. And they call so many things progress. Like we're living, that's why we have Pride Month, in fact, right? That's why we have Pride Month. It's progress. Not the old ways. They got this guy, this new White House communications director, and he's wearing he's got this sheer shirt. He's looking like a gay prostitute. And I'm like, this is progress. This is absolute progress, right? And on this progress, real quick, I was made aware of I was enriched culturally here. And I do love being enriched culturally. We love appropriating cultures. We love appropriating and enriching ourselves. And we're going to Hawaii for this one. And it's Pride celebration themed right before White History Month. What a mess. And there's a word we're going to learn here. We're learning the word of the day is mahu. The word of the day is mahu, M-A-H-U. And this person is posting this, Strictly Christo. Let me show you their Twitter. Strictly Christo, with a Ukraine flag and a dove and a little sunflower in their name. Very Chad. Says, post this video that I'm about to show you with this caption here. While on vacation in Hawaii, this Karen, uses the K word, K-slur, gets shaking mad when she sees a drag queen in the lobby for a Pride celebration brunch. Most mainlander haoles. Now, I don't know if that's a Mexican dish or some nasty word for mainlanders. Are mainlanders always white, or can mainlanders be diverse? Most mainlander haoles are unaware that mahu have been an integral and accepted part of Polynesian society for hundreds of years. Now, what the heck's a mahu? The anchor baby wonders. But this is a video that got them talking. Karen, they're calling her, on the mahus.
I'm sorry, but I paid to be a customer at a hotel where I thought you believed that women were real. That because you put on makeup, because you're wearing high heels, because you have a Barbie outfit on, that you don't think this is degrading? This is misogyny. And we have a hotel. If you give me back my money right now, I will leave the hotel. Okay, let's go take But I'm not going to have my children come down from the 30th floor and see what's happening here.
Let's go take care of your reservation right now.
Yeah, no, this is completely degrading.
Okay, let's go take care of that right now. Come on.
I want to know what your names are because I'm going to share this.
What the?
Take care of your reservation and have you check out.
Are you in the hotel? Are you dressed up? Are you a man? Are you a man pretending to be a woman?
I'm not pretending to be anything.
What do you think about my son who might think that he can put on makeup and put on fancy clothing and high heels and have his penis cut off and take estrogen so he can grow fake boobs like those? Yeah, this is so degrading.
Where your husband, lady? Janet? Come on, Janet.
This is degrading. Oh, you're smiling.
I am.
Tell me what your name is, sir.
Sorry, Mary Beth.
Tell me why you think it's okay to put on a class.
Calm down, Janet. They got Janet going crazy. She's not too happy. I mean, it's clear this woman's crazy, right? That's just clear. It's okay, where were we? So first, yeah, she's going off. She's going off. We're blaming Whitey again, okay? We're defending the black knife criminals, and now we're defending the trans people. What a mess on American Anchor Baby today. What a mess. Yeah. I'm joking. There's definitely big time anti-white hate, and that woman got attacked nasty. Okay. We're just nitpicking, okay? People are still on that. Okay, I can accept that. I can accept that, chat. But where were we? This woman is crazy. You get that. You know that this is crazy. And it's just, I thought I went to a hotel where women were real, where you thought women were real. This is degrading. What's degrading is your attitude. You're going crazy, woman. Misogyny, it's what a mess. What do you think about my children? What do you think about my children coming down and seeing this? She says, what do you think about my children? I want your names. What do you think about my children coming down and thinking that's okay? So I hear bad parenting is what I hear. I hear someone who's afraid of the world. If they just saw some man in a dress, that suddenly your son will turn into a little fruit. And it's like, lady, I think something else happened. I don't think it was looking at that one drag queen. Okay, there may have been signs, okay? I'm just saying, look. So you get that she's crazy. Going off here about the Mahu people, though. See, you get that that's great. So I just wanted to show you the video. No point going off here more. I was just interested here because I was educated. I was educated on this word, Mahu, the Mahu people. What is Mahu? We're learning about the Hawaiians. We're learning about cultures. And we're going to ChatGPT for this one, who's collecting a bunch of research together here on Mahu. Mahu is a term used in Hawaiian and Tahitian, like Tahiti or something, Tahitian cultures to describe a person who embodies both masculine and feminine spirit. Historically, Mahu individuals were respected members of society, apparently, often serving important roles as caretakers, teachers, and healers. They were recognized for their unique ability to bridge gender differences and were often seen as possessing spiritual and cultural insights. I wonder how that works, where this ChatGPT is getting this from, who wrote that, because I wonder how they know these things, right? Like, these gender differences. I mean, these Mahu people in this tribe or whatever with these Hawaiian and Tahitian cultures, I'm telling you, these gender differences, they were dealt with thanks to these Hawaiian trans people. You got to wonder, where's the stretching here? Maybe a little bit. You got to wonder. But I also don't think ChatGPT is necessarily lying about this term and its existence, because it's kind of a thing I've seen in other cultures and other, like indigenous things. I'm trying to describe this, I'm trying to, I guess, juxtapose this so-called progress against this notion that people have against things like Christianity and religion. That it's stands in conflict to progress, to reason and reasonable thinking and civilization and all that. They call it oppressive. They call it many things. Christianity, namely. And I'm just pointing out how this is a thing I see in primitive cultures. Can we say that? Primitive cultures, primitive people, they have a name. They've given it a name. They've given a name to a lot of these weird things about different things, okay? And here, namely, obviously, we're talking about Mahu. And there's this stretch, it's supposedly transgender, but I think that's how they really saw it. A person with both masculine and feminine, who embodies both masculine and feminine spirit. It's maybe a bit of a stretch to say the Hawaiian people's cultures, they believed in transgender. So it's just a bit of a stretch, because the image that comes to mind is a bunch of Hawaiian men, but with makeup and stuff and long hair. I was like, it's a bit of a stretch, okay? When we're talking about transgender and all that here in America, it's like the genealogy here, if we're going to trace something back here on all of that, is not Mahu and these, ancient cultures. The only connection we can make there is in its primitive nature and its animalistic nature, these progressive concepts that we're hearing, right? That's the only relation they share, because that's the origin of all that in America, is like the drag queens and the transvestites and the prostitutes, the street prostitutes of America, and the gay culture and the gay years and all that weird things where they got all angry, and they say it's because they were made to go into the closet, but whatever. And that's where it all comes from that culture, which is rife of full of problems and perversions and pornography. That's where this transgender stuff in America comes from. So don't give me this progressive stuff. Don't give me this Mahu. It's so amazing and incredible. Zenny made me wait on hold for 15 minutes. Zenny, oh, the special, the special Zenny with the special treatment. Okay, no problem, Zenny. Special Zenny, don't make him wait longer than 15. So, anyways, Mahu people, where were we? You'll get primitive stuff, folks. It's not progressive. It's going back, devolving. It's a big devolving. You know what I'm saying. Devolving. All right. Let's see what else here. What else do we got? We got something for you here. Getting to something here. Got a story for you. What do we got? Mahu, going from Mahu to Massey, I think. I think that's what we're doing here. Going from Mahu to Massey. Let's go. And we're talking about Thomas Massey. I mentioned these struggling beasts earlier that we may not understand. And it has to do with people's hearts. We're fighting each other, but there's political stuff. And I don't quite understand. Seems to be a struggle going on. And it's not quite Democrat Republican, because you see these rhinos, you see these Republicans, you see this direction when it comes to Congress, and it seems like everyone, Republican, Democrat, left, right, are sellouts, right? They sell out American public. Recent things that come to mind is like the border, simple things like that. The just unending promises from the Republicans. And so if you choose to look at it that way, right? So where was I? So I don't know about all that. I don't know if it's Democrat, Republican. But where was I? It comes down. It comes to this Thomas Massey thing, right? And I mentioned this the other day. Forget when. I showed some clip, I think. It was Thomas Massey on Tucker Carlson. And he went on there to talk about AIPAC. AIPAC. Okay, and that is this American lobbying group for advocating pro-Israel policies, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. If you know anything a little bit about politics, how that all works, you get lobbying, okay? You get organizations and constituents who put forth money and all that in a bid to get the attention of a politician or representative so that representative can back, different things here. They talk about the dark sides of that, which is companies and different individuals and private individuals and stuff lobbying members of Congress to make laws that are in their favor, in the favor of a certain industry, of a certain company, to open up regulations or whatever in an industry. They talk about lobbying in that way. Commie capitalism, you've heard it called, and it's just a true description. There's also what it is on its face, which is constituents lobbying a representative, and this constituent is supposed to represent a true mentality of a voter base. Is that fair to say? So anyways, I played this thing on Thomas Massey. He was on Tucker Carlson, and he made this claim of many members of Congress, Democrat and Republican. He mentions the Republicans heavily, how they have an AIPAC guy, which is basically I'm supposed to understand is a representative of AIPAC and that those interests and their influence on these members. Thomas Massey bringing this up on Tucker, saying and expressing this, this criticism he's lobbed before on the American Congress, and should it be and bringing up this conversation on a capturing of those interests, how captured it is, what is going on, who is it, etc. And so that conversation is going on, and that was interesting. I played it. And this clip is going around. It's Ben Shapiro, in fact, responding to this notion, and he responds directly to Congress people talking about having an AIPAC person, and he responds to Thomas Massey here. And I don't know who's right. I don't know who's right. If Ben Shapiro's right, or if is a foreign influence in politics, can we say that that's strange, bad? Can we? Yeah, of course. Can we talk about it? Something I want to do. Makes sense to me, right? I'm open for the conversation is what I'm saying. And so I'm wondering on that side and all that. On the other hand, AIPAC receives money from voters, right? Don't they? I know they receive private money. They receive big donations from private individuals, what? These activist types. I'm thinking, what's that guy, Adelson or something like that, right? And that's big money. But what about voters? They receive money from voters, from what? Evangelicals, boomers. These are your neighbors. And so I just find this an interesting thing. I honestly don't know who's right here. I think both are just talking about true things. And so where was I? yeah, so like, anyways, let me just play this. I played that Massey stuff before. Here's Ben Shapiro kind of responding. Let's watch. Maybe I'll remember what I was saying.
Many of the people that you see Congress people talking about, oh, we have an APAC handler. No, you don't. That's not what a handler is. A handler, typically speaking, is a person who works for an organization and then provides covert payments in some way in order to do corrupt things. The people that, for example, Thomas Massey is talking about, those are just constituents who actually agree with the cause of AIPAC and then lobby his office. That's not a handler. That's called a constituent, and it exists across the board. It turns out there are many people who are arranged with many different lobbying groups across America, from left to right, on causes ranging from the environmental to tax to foreign policy. Them calling off an office does not make them a quote-unquote handler.
So the question here, right, he's saying, like, so essentially, if I may, and I do this all partly to... for I can understand it myself. I'm working it out here. I understand what he's saying, right? And you can call me if I'm getting something wrong here. 888-775-3773. You're saying that those people lobbying like AIPAC and otherwise, and he names other ones like some lobby for this or that reason, the environmental reasons. They lobby for all sorts of stuff. He's saying those are constituents. It's not some dark money person who's in their ear calling them on some burner phone. I'm adding to it. And is there like a person like that? No, it's a constituent. I think Massey said that. That's how he put it. And so that's my summary to help me understand, right? I'm not misunderstanding that, right? The constituent thing. He's saying it's not dark money. It's in the open, I guess. Okay. And I don't know if he's alluding to this or saying this, but it's what I was saying earlier about, well, AIPAC receives money from Republicans, like Republican individuals. It's one thing to say, there's this undue influence, it's dark, and we got to talk about it. There's people in Congress saying they got an AIPAC guy they listen to. But there's another thing to say, well, it sounds like a lot of American voters are okay with these Republicans having AIPAC guys. Am I misunderstanding something here? And again, is there a conversation to be had about that? I think so, possibly. I think we're having it right now. But yeah, is there something I'm wrong in my thinking here? Tell me where I'm wrong here. Because it sounds like, for example, everything is fake. How do constituents lobby? I mean, they donate to groups. They donate to AIPAC, for example. Or these other groups collect those donations and give it to AIPAC. So there's a number of things happening in different levels. But in the bird's eye view here, where am I? In the bird's eye view here, is it fair to say that a lot of Republicans, and there's a fight about it, I think, happening, but a lot of Republicans, evangelicals, older people, they're okay with this AIPAC person. That's one of those lobbies that they're okay with. Anyways, look, there's people saying you can't have a conversation about that. That's crazy. But anyways, what else about this? I can't tell. Tell me where I'm wrong in this on the fence thing here, because it sounds like what? What am I even saying? Look, it sounds like they're both saying things that are true. Am I wrong here?
The people that you see Congress people talking about, oh, we have an AIPAC handler. No, you don't. That's not what a handler is. A handler, typically speaking, is a person who works for an organization and then provides covert payments in some way.
It's like your babysitter.
Oh, we have...
So he didn't say, Thomas Massey didn't say handler.
An AIPAC handler. No, you don't. That's not what a handler is. The people that, for example, Thomas Massey is talking about, those are just constituents.
For AIPAC. They're probably a constituent in your district.
Yeah, someone maybe want to let more information on how a constituent lobbies, I guess. That'd be interesting. But yeah, so here he is. He's talking about constituents.
But they are, firmly embedded in AIPAC. And
every member has something like this? But anyway, here's the clip of Thomas Massey explaining.
Wait, what? Thanks, Anomaly. I kind of took a little bit of... he was using the clips I wanted to use. I tried cutting him out. What's up, Anomaly? I guess...
They're not registered.
Is there any other Republican who has your views on this?
Well, I have Republicans who come to me on the floor and say, I wish I could vote with you today. Yours is the right vote, but I would just take too much flack back home. And I have Republicans who come to me and say, that's wrong what AIPAC is doing to you. Let me talk to my AIPAC person. By the way, everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What does that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like,
but anyways,
your babysitter,
let's keep it going.
Your AIPAC
Whatever.
babysitter who is always talking to you for AIPAC.
I already played this, but I wanted to keep it going because Tucker says, I forget what he says. He says, why has no one else said this? Why haven't I heard this anywhere else? Which is an interesting question, right? Why are we only, personally, I don't know. I just kind of heard about it. What else about this? Was there more in this clip that I left in?
Probably a constituent.
What else about this? Okay, anyways, look. So do you understand at least my thoughts on this? Like how it feels like they're both saying kind of true things. How I understand it, one is talking about the wrong influence in Congress from a foreign country. Oh yeah, here's another thing. Here's the difference too, if I can nitpick. You know, when you're saying that there's all these different lobbies, like the green energy lobby and all this, what Massey makes a point of, and it was in that clip, that's what I left out. It was in this clip, and I was fast forwarding. He makes the point he just points out that, well, the difference here is that it's AIPAC is like a foreign country, and that's very unusual. It seems like other countries, he says that they don't have a Britain guy, you don't have a British guy, you don't have a this guy, that guy. So that's the difference here, if I can nitpick there. But on the Shapiro thing, it's like, isn't that a sincere point? Like, Americans support, like, American Christians support Israel, and it's sincere. You know, they talk about this trip. These politicians take this trip to Israel, and it's this evil trip, and they take them to Israel, and they brainwash them, or they, I don't know, put them in a room and say, now that you're here, and we brought you to Israel, you didn't know, and they bag them. They bag their heads. It's like, what do they think happens? Like, do they get these politicians and they invite them to Israel, and then when they get there, they're like, wow, it's going to be an amazing trip. They bag their heads. They bag their heads. They bring them to the back rooms. They beat them, and they're like, if you tell anybody at home that this is what we did, we're going to, I don't know, take away your politician job. You know, I got to wonder, like, what do they think happens? I think it's a little more closer to people, these politicians, they get lobbied by AIPAC or whatever. They get a ticket to go to Israel. They go, and then they get like a good feeling about it. They're like, hey, these people have been nice to me. I seen their land. I see how well they keep it, and these politicians just inside of them is born a genuine support, I think, for Israel. Whatever you may think about it, however you may feel about that, and if you think about it, it's a good strategy from these AIPAC people. If I was a foreign country and I want to get this influence, and it doesn't seem like anybody in this it doesn't seem like this country is stopping me. If I was a foreign country and I wanted influence in another country and this country's not stopping me, I'd invite their politicians to come over and see what we're about, see what we do. And it's like, and it's a pretty good strategy. So I just wonder sometimes about that whole trip thing. It's like, and they took a trip to Israel. It's like, yeah, because they're probably trying to curry their favor, and it seems to be working. I'm trying to maybe demystify that a little bit, because I just wonder, like, what some people think. So, anyways, nitpicking a little bit. Hope you understand me. Been doing a lot of nitpicking this episode, and it you know, you might come to conclusions what I'm defending or whatever. Instead of calling me, we could talk about it. But anyways, look, hope you've enjoyed the show so far. It's like, I gotta wonder, it's like, are they like beating them when they get there? Like, you better support Israel. Like, I think they just see in Israel going like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I support these guys. And I got Christians, evangelicals at home, and it sounds like it's all kosher to me. Is what is my impression of the thing, okay? Maybe there is a black eye club. I don't know. Okay, some of these politicians, they're all bruised up. You seen that stuff? But anyways, what else on this? Folks, that's the show. That's all I had to say today. Appreciate the support, Carver. Let me check on that super chat. That's Carver with the super chat says, I checked U.S. trademark database. Nitpick not taken. I better get on that. Big time. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 with the super chat earlier says, can I play PS2 with the brain chip? Well, it looks like you're going to be able to do a lot. I don't know if they have backwards compatibility, though, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. But they might figure that out. Don't worry. You can get the, like, ROM implant or something and play old games. Eventually, we're going to have to get ad block implants. I've said this before, but once they start beaming the ads in our heads, there'll be people out there who will make an ad block implant, and you're going to have to get the ad block implant. Ad block plus. And you'll have to turn off the ad block implant when going to certain websites because they can detect your ad block implant. And it's just a mess. This is going to be the internet in our heads. So I don't know about y'all. That's just what's coming. That's the show. What else here in the last 5 minutes, I guess? That's the show, folks. Let's see what chat's saying. We got the towers in the chat. MindFi. Can I get the password to your MindFi? So I'm trying to connect to your MindFi, you know. What am I being ridiculous about? Christ conquers. I'd appreciate show me some love and tell me where I'm wrong. Huh? Show me some love. Where's the love, folks? No love for Nick. AIPAC is mostly Republican, but both sides are pretty controlled. You know, Trump himself was saying that recently, this open secret about the GOP and all that. So, you know, it's like, you talk to me, you know where I stand. I talk about hatred in the heart. I'm seeing white people turn retarded and act like the blacks. So I can't help but nitpick on that. People are saying you can't even have a conversation about this AIPAC stuff. Can't help but notice that. But people, what else about this? Just reading the chat here in the last few minutes of the show. Don't perpetuate the Jew hate. No, Court Green. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say call me and we could talk about it because that's not what we're talking about. No, sir. What else here? Nit, don't dox yourself as a CIA agent. What are you talking about? I'm not a Fed. Where the Feds at? Shout out to the Feds. Can I get a 1 in the chat if you're a Fed? What's up, Feds? We love the Feds. Incredible. All right, folks, take care. I'm out. That's it from me. Appreciate it. Peace. More American Anchor Baby tomorrow, Wednesday, after Manhood Hour, the Hake Report, Joel Friday, and all that. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.